I'm back. I'm not dead. I've just felt unmotivated, been busy with other games, and yeah, been a while. Okay. Let's continue. You're walking. Right, of course. It's the first time in a while that you felt like going out. And you're actually glad that you did. I'm also using a keyboard instead of a mouse right now because one USB for an external keyboard and another USB for my microphone. The weather is absolutely perfect today. That's a good sign, right? Maybe your luck is finally starting to turn around. You tentatively allow yourself to feel excited for the possibilities of where you could go or what you could do. Maybe even who you could meet. You're so deep in thought that you almost miss it. Huh? What was that? Curiosity guiding your steps, you follow the sound to the entrance of a lonely alleyway. The sunlight only just manages to reach down in between the tall buildings on either side. You timidly enter the alley and walk forward, the loose gravel and scattered debris on the ground softening your steps. Finally, the sound source comes into view in the warm, almost ethereal light of the alley. At the end of the alley, in a big cardboard box, is a cat, the one and only. Huh. Guess that should have been obvious? It's an interesting looking cat. Its pretty yellow eyes shine like gold among the dark sea of its black fur. It puts its front paws up on the edge of the box and looks up at you. Huh? So... You look so... familiar. Right? Then again, it is a cat. Not many different ways for a standard black cat to look after all. This one sure is a cutie though. Just look. It's not glaring at you or hissing at you for getting this close like other stray cats have in the past. It's just sitting there patiently, waiting for you to do something. Script. So adorable. No! Well, why not? Right? You barely reach out your arms before the cat eagerly leaps into them and climbs up onto your shoulders. It butts its head into your temple, nuzzling against it. You can't help but smile at the cat's enthusiasm. Let's get you out of here, yeah? On the way home, you really consider getting cat food. But that would be a waste of time. You shrug at the odd feeling and move on. You live in a modest apartment. 1 bedroom, 1 bathroom, 1 you living alone in it. So it feels weird having another living being inside it after so long. Even if it is just a cat. After locking the front door and placing the cat on the floor, you wait for it to walk away and explore the new environment. I wonder if this audio level is too quiet. No, never mind. It's good. But it simply sits and looks up at you expectantly. Like what? Watch a movie. You're not tired enough for a nap, but you're too lazy to get started on any of your chores. So you decide to watch a movie. You get dressed in your favorite pajamas, make some popcorn with an obscene amount of butter, and head over to your armchair. Only to discover that the cat is already napping in it. You frown a little in thought. Your couch isn't at the best angle for optimal TV viewing pleasure, and you don't feel like pushing it around when having to put it back later. The only options you have left are to sit on the floor, or move the cat and reclaim your throne. Oh no, I forgot which one I haven't done yet. Screw it, I need to cheat real quick. I need to open up the previous file. Oh man, forgive me for cheating, it's just been... Let's see you not play a game for 2 months. Okay. Thank you. Forgive me for that. We're staying on the floor. You decide to sit on the floor. The cat is a guest after all, and you pride yourself on being a good host if nothing else. Well, at least you would if you'd ever had any guests over before. You grab a blanket and some pillows and make a comfy nest in front of the chair. Hey, that sounds nice. You pop in a random movie from your collection and can tell instantly that it's one of your favorite horror films. You've seen it a few times already, but it never fails to get your blood pumping. A few minutes in and you're already invested, getting reacquainted with the story and characters. The scares won't come until later, but... For some reason, you feel like something is watching you from behind. You know it's probably nothing, but you feel compelled to check anyway. You peek over your shoulder. Ah! Only to jump out of your skin, just in a few pieces of popcorn out of the bowl in your lap. The cat is awake and looking right at you. Ah! You take a calming breath, recovering from your heart nearly lurching out of your chest, and immediately feel foolish. It was just a cat, of course. It was so quiet you forgot it was right behind you. Even though it's the whole reason you're sitting on the floor in the first place. You shakily pick up the remote and then rewind some of the parts you missed. However, as soon as you press the rewind button, the TV shuts off. You blink, confused. Nothing else turned off. The kitchen's dim light was still on. The digital clock... I cannot speak. The digital clock was still glowing and... the movie player was still rewinding. The power clearly didn't go out, so why? You feel a chill run down your spine as you catch the cat's reflection in the dark TV screen. It's still... looking at you? Cats there, silly. It's kind of their thing. Right? And you're a new addition to its life. I mean, in its life. Bleh. Of course it's going to study you closely to see if you're trustworthy. As you mentally reassure yourself, you turn the TV back on. What? The TV's on, but the movie isn't what's playing on screen. It's you? You watch yourself frown on screen as you feel your brow furrow in tandem. It's like footage of you in real time, like you're being recorded. You feel the familiar sensation of your mind focusing on small details that with the bigger picture of your current situation. Avoid the questions of how this is happening, of who or what is doing this, and why. Suddenly your mirror itself smiles and waves at you, all on its own. You don't wave back, too stunned to move. The you on the screen doesn't seem to mind though. It then stands up. It walks out of frame. And... Ah! A terrified yell rips out of your mouth before you can think to stifle it. On screen. In the chair. Is the cat. But it's... wrong. It's become a light, swollen mess of black fur. Its twitch and pulse are rhythmical with its slow, almost methodical breaths. Its mouth is a yawning entrance to a black abyss, framed by a set of teeth that look very, very sharp. Glowing eyes bulge all over its body. It's still looking at you. It doesn't even acknowledge your on-screen persona as they walk back into frame and pet it almost lovingly. Then... the you inside the TV touches one of the cat's fangs. You flinch at a sudden, sharp pain in your palm. You look down and sure enough, your hand is bleeding. You're not particularly afraid of blood, but... for some reason the sight of it leaking out of you sends another chill down your back. A thought, clear and terrible, flashes across your mind. It's not just the mutated cat in the TV that's watching you. Is it? Don't look behind you. 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 You watch helplessly as your on-screen self smiles and nods at you, almost encouragingly. They stand in front of the cat's gaping jaws. They look into the dark depths. And as you're torn between the horrifying realization of what's about to happen, and the gripping wonder of what they see looking back at them from the deep, deep darkness, they jump in. Darkness is a sudden presence all around you. Pressing in, holding you down. And yet you somehow also feel weightless. You can't tell if you're falling, but it doesn't feel like you're laying down or standing either. You feel warm. You feel cold. You feel everything. You feel nothing. You feel nothing. Ending 3. Silent film. Oh, okay. I'm getting back into what's it called? The rhythm? I don't know. Oh, right, the text. Never mind, I'm still out of rhythm. You let the cat sit in your favorite chair and watch the scary movie together. Just an ordinary movie night. And now I'll be skipping scene bits again, you know. Because the refreshing bit has been basically done again. Yay. Oh, get over here. Yeah, we don't need this section anymore. Like what? Feed it. The cat looks hungry, so you decide to feed it. You're really not stopping for food our days, you don't have much left. Grocery shopping day is tomorrow after all. You head to the kitchen and click your tongue, ensuring the cat follows after you. I think I did it right. It leaps nimbly onto the kitchen counter and watches as you search for meal options. Let's see. You find some things you expect. A can of tuna in the pantry, some leftover meatloaf in the fridge, and... Huh? What's that? You realize there's a tightly sealed Tupperware on the bottom shelf of the fridge. You don't recognize it. A foul odor is leaking from the container. Whatever's inside can't be safe for human consumption. But the cat seems excited about it, practically salivating over it. Still, you're the caretaker here. You're the one who needs to decide what's best to feed a hungry cat. So you'll feed it... Oh, I love this meatloaf. You get the feeling the cat won't be too impressed with anything that comes out of a can. And you're not about to feed whatever the heck that toxic looking sludge is. So, it's settled. A tuna sandwich for you and leftover meatloaf for your feline guest. You ignore the cat's disappointed meows as you put the weird container back in the fridge to dispose of later. You warm up the meatloaf in the microwave. My goodness, that sounds like my microwave here. You place the now warm meatloaf on a saucer next to the cat on the counter. You don't think you should be encouraging it to eat up here. But you figure it'll make up for electing not to feed it the toxic goop it wanted. The cat looks like it finds the meatloaf interesting. Works for you. Eat up, kitty. Yeah, water burp. As the cat digs into its meal, you go about searching for some bread for your tuna sandwich. You're so distracted by your search that you only just barely hear. You turn around and see that the meatloaf has only one, maybe two bites taken out of it. But more alarmingly, there seems to be a red trail of something leading away from where the cat had been sitting, and off the edge of the counter towards the living room. Is that blood? You jump at the strange sound coming from around the corner, further into your apartment. You attempt to steal your nerves. Taking a breath, you walk around the counter to head into the living room. You stepped in something warm and wet. And red. You resist the urge to vomit and step away from the trail of... You follow the trail into the living room and see that it leads into the hall. It's getting louder. It's definitely in the hall. You feel like you can hear your heartbeat. You hope whatever is in the hole can't. Your body shakes as you feel yourself step forward. And forward. And forward. And forward. You peek. Around the corner. Nothing. Huh. There's nothing there. Okay then. What? You walk further into the hole and see that the trail leads all the way down the end of it. But there's nothing there. You don't quite feel relief, but at least you feel something wet and warm drip onto your cheek. Something very warm. You swipe your shaking hand across it and pull it back to see your fingers covered in something. Uh-oh. You look up and see what can only be described as meat. The entire ceiling of the hallway is covered in a thick, undulating, writhing layer of pulsing meat. At its center is a single glowing eyeball, frantically rolling around in every direction. Until it lands squarely on you. You try to take a step back, desperate to escape the hallway. To escape this thing. But before you can even scream, may the tendrils shoot out and grab you. No! Let me go! They pull you up and up into a pair of slowly opening jaws. And then ending 9. Leftovers. You fed the cat some leftover meatloaf. It liked it okay. Yeah, no. Sadly, as cute as the cat is, you'd never take this thing home with you. You just can't take it home with you. You're a responsible adult. You are! With rent and bills to pay for! Not to mention you need to buy food to survive too! There's no way you could care for a cat long term, right? You can barely afford this little outing on your day off. What to do? I am clearly not learning my lesson. The cat must be hungry, right? You can't imagine that it's had much to eat if it's so attached to that box it's in. Though it doesn't exactly seem malnourished either. Surely must have left the box to search for food then? For some reason, something in the back of your mind tells you that's not the case. And not to think on it any further. Well, either way, you can't exactly enjoy your day out knowing you left behind a hungry cat. Especially when you could have done something to help. So, what to do about the hungry kitty? Look around? Yeah. You glance around the dark, dingy alley. And only see garbage bags, trash bins, empty cardboard boxes, and scattered litter here and there. If there were something for the cat to eat, surely would have found it by now, right? But you don't want to just give up so easily. You keep looking. You look and only see garbage. You sniff and only smell garbage. You listen. You just barely make out the sound of faint scurrying by a trash bin a few feet away. Quietly, oh so quietly, you creep over to the bin. And you lunge! You weren't very graceful in your attempt. You'd stumbled and knocked over a stack of nearby boxes full of more trash. But as you stand up, grasped in your hand is a small mouse. The mouse squeaks and shrieks in distress, wriggling and struggling desperately in your grip. You're holding it too tightly and carefully for it to be able to bite or scratch you, though. It wears itself out eventually and looks up at you with black eyes. It's completely at your mercy. The mouse looks scared, as if it can sense your intentions. It weakly starts to struggle again. No, don't do this to me now, no! The mouse is reluctant. I'm getting the witch's house flashbacks, except it's the mouse instead of a frog. And it's a cat instead of a snake. But, okay, stop getting sidetracked, continue. Feed mouse to cat. You feed the mouse to the cat. The cat tears it apart instantly. The mouse's paint squeaks and squeals pierce through you until they're abruptly cut off. Satisfied, the cat meows happily at you, red tinting its fangs. The cat curls up in its now blood-stained box and goes to sleep. You take the chance to leave. A well-fed cat will likely follow you home after all. And cute as the cat is, you really can't afford a pet right now. Still feeling a little guilty about the mouse, you decide to just go home. After a long walk home, you finally enter your apartment. You head straight for your room and collapse in your bed, falling into a fitful sleep. Later, you wake up. Uh-oh. The squeaking and scurrying noises all around you. So loud and constant they sound like screams. In the darkness of your room, you see the shifting shadows of hundreds of mice surrounding your bed. You try to run. Ah! But you cry out as twin lances of pain race up your legs. You fall off the bed in your attempt to escape. The hordes of mice dodging you as you crash to the ground. You can't stand up. Looking back and squinting in the dark, you just about make out the source of your pain. Ah, the flesh and tendons of your heels and ankles are mangled. Bitten through your socks. No, no, leave me alone! Desperate, you crawl with only your arms towards the door. The mice descend upon you. Biting into your skin. Gnawing away pieces of you. You start to fade in and out of consciousness. But you still reach up for the doorknob. Your arm heavy, weighed down by the mice clinging to it with little claws and tiny teeth. You manage to jostle the knob enough for the door to slowly swing open. But your outstretched arm suddenly falls to the ground, lifeless. The mice smash you through the flesh and bone of your now dismembered limb. As a few mice creep forward to curiously inspect your arm, you stare blankly at it for a moment before sliding your gaze up. In the newly open doorway sits a familiar-looking mouse. It stares at you. The darkness in its beady black eyes. You can't begin to measure their depths. Nor the hatred pouring out from within them. All of it. Aimed at you. You collapse. Head hitting the floor as your other arm is eaten away as well. You're not sure how you're still conscious. The pain should be indescribable. And yet, you just feel a cold sense of loss. Feel myself closer along your back now. Gnawing and ripping their way between your shoulder blades. Into your back, into your chest. Something they pulled out of you. And in between the moments, the blankets of darkness fade out of your vision. You hear something wet flop on the ground in front of you. You pry your eyes open and see it in front of the mouse. Weirdly shaped, red with your blood, and pulsing, and oh, that's your heart. Isn't it? The other mice all descend upon it, abandoning your half-eaten body. You're losing a lot of blood. You feel sleepy. But you also feel anger? Yes. So much anger. How dare they? How dare they? The last thing you say before your vision fails you is a pair of glowing eyes leering in from the darkness beyond the doorway. You can hear squeaks and shrieks of terror all around you. Low yowls, deep snarls, gnashing teeth, tearing flesh. As the remaining senses leave you, you smile weakly with the last of your strength. When something with soft, slightly damp and sticky fur nuzzles your cheek. Good kitty. Ending 27. Well fed. Oh. This isn't ominous at all. 27, was it? 27, 27. Cats are supposed to eat mice. Huh. Wonder what mice are supposed to eat. Yeah. Gonna keep this even, or at least try. Aw, you just want a little attention, don't you? The poor thing must be bored sitting in that box all day. You're not sure you're much of an interesting companion, but you're willing to do your best. There's got to be something you can entertain the little critter with. But what? You search around. But there's really nothing in the alley that looks interesting enough for the cat to play with. Gotta stay hydrated. Especially as someone who has a very quiet voice and doesn't talk much. That is, using games as a way to increase my voice usage, if that makes any sense. Anyway. So maybe. How about a game? You're designing a game you've known since childhood. Red light, green light. A classic. Teaching a cat how to play might be a bit of a challenge, but you get the feeling the felin's natural hunting instincts will help it along. You walk to the entrance of the alley, the cat meowing at you. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. You exaggerate your movements, covering your eyes with your hands, and turn around. 1, 2, 3. Red light! You spin around. The cat hasn't left the box, tilting its head at you in curious confusion. Keep it up. You try again. This time you go a bit slower. 1, 2, 3. Red light! When you turn around this time, the cat is out of the box. The cat freezes under your stare, as if it thinks you can't see if it doesn't move. Well, isn't that how the game works? Nice. So cute. Satisfied that the cat is getting the hang of the game, you turn again, speeding back up. 1, 2, 3. Red light! You turn around. The cat is a few steps away from the box now, peeking out from behind a dumpster. Its eyes trained rather intensely on you. Well, at least it's having fun. You turn again and feel a sudden chill run down your spine. You feel silly, but you can't help counting just a little faster this time. 1, 2, 3, red light! Whirling around after saying red light. You look at the cat, It's halfway down the alley closer to you now, but it's as if the perspective of what you're seeing is off somehow. Doesn't the cat look a little bigger? Its pupils are 10 slits now. Something's not right. The cat meows at you again, but it sounds much deeper than earlier. It's crouched down, as if poised to lunge forward. Your breath shudders a little as your heart starts to race. Your foot instinctively shifts back. Ah! You freeze immediately. The cat looks impatient. It wants to keep playing, but you gulp and turn around. Swiftly counting and turning again as you gasp out, 1, 2, 3, red light! The ground shakes as you roll back around, to find yourself staring at a long surface of black fur. You slowly look up, and up, and up, to see a giant shadowy figure leering down from its position hunched over you. Fangs dripping with saliva, claws crushing into the concrete walls of the alley. Its glowing eyes are unblinking as they look back at you. The cat waiting for your next turn. But it's so close! If you turn around now, you don't want to play anymore. Bye! Not. You don't even finish turning around before claws grip your torso, digging in and piercing the soft flesh of your stomach with ease. As you listen to the drooling, gaping jaws above you, you can't help but think that there must have been another way out of this. But pointless regrets are pretty typical for you, aren't they? Ending 32, Fear Quitter. Let's... When the going gets tough, just give up. That's how the saying goes, right? Yeah. Just gonna... You don't think it's a good idea to get the cat's hopes up of having someone look after you if you're not willing to commit. What if it gets attached and somehow tracks you down back to your home? You'd never get away from it then. Sorry. See you around, I guess. You stand up, the cat watching your every move. You make it halfway out of the alley when the cat meows almost pitifully at you. Nope. Nope, nope. You need to nip this in the bud and get on with your day. It's what's best for the both of you. You leave the alley and continue on your way. Wait, what was I doing? In all the excitement of dealing with your furry dilemma, you'd forgotten you still hadn't decided on what you were going to do for your day off. I think I'll go watch a movie? It's been a while since a film came out that looked interesting enough for you to drag yourself to a movie theater. But there's a showing of one such film at the old theater. The movie was a little too niche to be picked up by the new cinema that opened right across the street. That's okay though, you're not exactly a fan of the crowds. And nothing ruins the experience of watching a new movie for you more than a noisy audience. Yeah, I can get behind that mindset. Let's go to the old theater. You eagerly buy your ticket from the kind old man in the booth and head inside. It's barren of any trace of other people, and the decor looks like it hasn't changed since the 80s. Maybe even the 70s. But it's what you were counting on. You consider buying some popcorn. What can help but be concerned that every day at the concession. Concession? What does that mean? I have to look at it later. If I bring my phone close to my microphone, it starts making annoying buzzing sounds and nobody needs to hear that. Anyway, you can't help but be concerned that every day at the concessions that might be expired. You move on and walk through the halls, finally locating the theater designated on your ticket stub. As expected, the theater your movie will be playing in is completely empty. Perfect. You pick a spot right in the middle, even counting the seats and taking into consideration the gap of the staircase. As you settle in, the dim lights fade away, leaving the room pitch black for a few seconds. Before the screen flickers on. No commercials or trailers pop up, the movie just begins. Heck yeah. Pleased, you shrug and let yourself get immersed in the opening scene. But just as you're getting into the premise, the doors open behind you, momentarily casting light into the room and ruining the atmosphere. You holding a frustrated sigh. It's a public establishment after all. The place can't exactly afford to stay open if you're the only customer. You try to refocus on the movie, but you sense the new presence slowly shifting around the theater before heading in your general direction. What? You gape in utter disbelief as the stranger shuffles down the aisle only to sit right in front of you! Huh? There's no one else here and plenty of places to sit! The stranger is also unusually tall. Even with the stadium-like arrangement of the seats being on a somewhat steep incline, they're completely blocking your view. You don't want to risk escalating the situation further. This whole thing is already making you uneasy. Why would they just sit right in front of you? Sure they knew you wouldn't be able to see past them? Shaking your head with a passive-aggressive scoff in the stranger's direction, you reluctantly pick another, less perfect seat in the theater. But as you settle down, you see the strange person get up. Oh, little 1 second, sit down in the seat directly in front of you. You look around somewhat helpless, as if waiting for someone to silently agree with you about how odd all of this is. Or to at least inform you that it's all an elaborate prank. But there's no one else here with you. That's how you've always liked it, but... You can't help but think that maybe it would be nice to have someone else here if it meant not being alone with this weird jerk. You move again. And again, they sit right in front of you. You bristle, whatever that means, annoyed and a little humiliated. Are they just getting a kick out of this or something? You've wasted enough time with this jerk that you don't even know what's going on in the movie anymore. Fuck it. You hate confrontation. You can already feel your palms starting to sweat at the idea of it. Your throat's closing up and your body's starting to shake. You've always been more of a flighter than a fighter. But you paid for this ticket. You went and watched this movie for ages. And now this total stranger has ruined the entire experience for you. You're all alone in this theater. There's no one who'll help you if something goes wrong. But you're angry enough that you ignore the signs of your body begging you to put as much distance as you can between yourself and this stranger. You stand up. Even standing on higher up on the incline, the stranger is still at least a head taller than you. The movie continues to play in the background, but you feel as if a hush immediately falls heavily over the theater at your movement. As if you can sense the stranger anticipating what you plan to do next. You square your shoulders and force a little bass into your voice. So basically talk lower? Hey! The effort makes your words come out more harshly than you intended, like a sudden and vicious spark. But you figured they deserve it anyway. You're being a real jerk, you know that? Just what are you playing at, huh? Are you trying to piss me off? The silence that follows your words is deafening. So much so that you glance at the screen only to find that the movie has paused? Your attention is reared back to the stranger in front of you as they shift slightly. Like a small animal trying desperately to anticipate the moves of a predator. You don't move an inch. You don't look away. You don't dare to blink. Instead, your eyes widen as the person's head turns. Then turns some more. Then turns more. Beyond what should be possible. Neck bones cracking, ow! To face you directly. You can't move. Wide glowing eyes resting above a wider grinning mouth gaze down at you. The stranger opens their mouth and what comes out is something impossible to comprehend. Good, there was no freaking way I was going to voice that. The voice is endlessly deep and creaks like a weighty door, foreboding and oddly melodic. Alluring. But it also snaps you out of your terrified trance, and before you know it, you're already out the door. You run through the halls of the empty theater, heading for the exit. You feel something watching you from behind, but you're too afraid to look. The exit now in sight, you sprint forward and burst through the doors. You look around frantically and spot the crowded cinema across the street. People, that's what you need. Safety in numbers and all that. Without thinking, you rush into the street when a sinking sensation crawls down your spine, compelling you to look behind you. Don't look behind you, don't look behind you, don't look behind you, don't look behind you, don't look behind you. Despite your resistance, you feel your head turning to look back of its own accord. While in the middle of the street, you catch a glimpse of a grotesque-looking person standing behind the glass doors of the old theater, watching you intensely, cradling something there in their arms. Something familiar. But... what? Huh? Oh! Famous last words. Just a cut off. Oh. A glimpse is all you get. as a truck speeds forward and crashes into your body. Oh god. You're killed on impact. Your body is splattered across the road and crushed further under the heavy tires. Ending 16, poor screening arrangements. Hey, we're halfway. Awesome. Anyway. You go to the old theater and enjoy a film with an interesting stranger. Nice. Okay, it's perfectly balanced now. Get over here. It's not every day you have access to a cute fluffy animal. What else is there to do but pet it to your heart's content? You sit on the floor in your living room and click your tongue to call the cat over. The cat dashes over to you, immediately climbing into your lap. Poor thing, you just want some attention, don't you? Alright. You carefully pet the cat. A rub behind an ear. A scratch under the chin. A smooth sweep along the back. Good? You keep petting the cat in your lap, enjoying this bonding time together. But the cat starts to get restless after a while. Meh. You're not quite ready to stop. You feel so calm, the repetitive action soothing your usually overworking mind. You keep petting. The cat leans away from your next head pat. It's trying to get out of your lap. When you scratch on the cat's chin, it bites at your fingers. You might be bleeding, but really, barely hurts. More a warning than anything. The cat struggles in your hole. It's watching you closely. Keep petting. If this was a... Don't do this IRL though. You keep petting the cat. Ow. Oh. The cat bites off your finger. It hurts. You're definitely bleeding now. But for some reason, you just can't stop. You don't know what it is. Its fur is so much softer than you realized. You'd think that it would be shining in the faint light of your living room, but it's as if the darkness of the cat's black coat is sucking in all the illumination around it, rendering it completely null. You're drawn to it. Like you're somehow holding a deep, dark abyss right in your lap. It seems calmer now, munching on your severed finger. The stump between your thumb and middle finger is leaking. Ugh. But you keep petting. You fret that your blood will ruin its fur, but the cat no longer seems to mind. Time passes. It's dark out now. Soft as the fur is, your palm has started to feel raw and damp under the constant friction from your petting. You think funny that maybe you've had enough. You start to lift your hand from the cat. But in a flash, Your entire hand is separated from your wrist. It flops onto your lap beside the cat. The cat's claws on its front right paw glisten with crimson liquid. You don't feel it for a moment, but your body tenses, anticipating the pain as you blankly watch the cat lick at the bloody palm of your severed hand. It hurts! It really, really hurts. Then the cat looks up at you and you feel compelled to keep petting. You're reluctant, but you're also afraid of what will happen if you don't heed the call. What will you lose next if you try to resist again? You were hurt for your insistent petting earlier. Yet now you've been hurt for trying to stop? It defies all logic, but that's what scares you. There's no reasoning with such fickle whims. You feebly try to raise your uninjured hand to pet the cat. It stiffens, golden eyes glinting dangerously. Well, alright then. You raise your bleeding stump and resume your petting to the best of your ability. You pet. And you bleed. You pet. And you bleed. You pet. And you bleed. You pet and you... Ending 7. Personal boundaries. Knowing how to take no for an answer is an important life lesson. I actually agree with that. I know what to do now. Get in here. So much for keeping it balanced, or maybe I'm just doing 2 at a time. Oh well. Play with it. Poor thing was probably bored stiff sitting. Wait, no. Yeah. Poor thing was probably bored stiff sitting in that old box all day. Just watching crowds of people walking by them. Ignoring them. You can't just leave them alone as soon as you're home. A little interspecies socializing won't kill you, right? Aw, you just want some attention, don't you? You wanna play, huh? Okay then. What to play though? Water. Look for some yarn. That's like the classic cat thing, right? If every movie and cartoon involving cats that you watched since childhood is to be believed, then you can deduce with almost absolute certainty that cats freaking love yarn. Probably. You unearthed some from an old box in the hallway closet that's filled with knick-knacks from your various abandoned hobbies. You consider just handling the ball of red yarn over to the cat and supervising from the side. But that would defeat the idea of playing together, wouldn't it? You could have a decent length of string from the ball of yarn and go back to the living room. The cat is resting on the floor. It's not asleep, but when it looks up at you, as you enter the living room, You feel you could doze off right then and there. You'll fix that. You smirk a little, confident with your surprise. And let the piece of yarn dangle just above the floor, pinched between your thumb and index finger. The sudden shift in the cat's demeanor makes your heart start to beat a little faster. Its posture has barely changed at all. Just a subtle shift of the head and ears. A slight tension in the shoulders. A sharpness in the gaze as it locks onto the yarn dangling an inch above the floor. The cat could still pass as being almost relaxed. Calm. And yet the air is thick with its eagerness to lunge forward. Waiting for the right moment to strike. You feel like you've just witnessed the awakening of the perfect predator. You're almost afraid of what will happen once you make the first move. But it will be you who makes the first move. You take a deep breath. Relax your shoulders. And... Yoink! The cat had lunged the instant you wiggled the yarn. But you're faster. It completely misses as you flick your wrist, making the yarn recoil out of its reach like a terrified snake. Having overshot the landing in its eagerness, the cat stumbles and looks around as if shocked at its failed attack. You generously click your tongue to help reorient it. The cat whips its head around at the sound. You start taken aback at the intensity of its stare on the yarn. But you persist. You wiggle the yarn again, encouragingly. And yes, maybe a little tauntingly. This time the cat anticipates the yarn's upward dodge and leaps up to swipe at it. But you're already one step ahead, puppeting the yarn to dance gracefully out of reach once more. Come on, you can do it! It's a little condescending, but you can't seem to help it. For some reason, it feels a little good knocking the feline down a peg or two. Gee, I wonder why. Not like we're stuck in a time loop. At least it seems to be enjoying itself. You hope, anyway. You keep going. The cat's movements have gotten more aggressive. It must be getting frustrated. You could swear it nearly took a shot at your eye that last time. It had jumped so high and erratically. You've been keeping the yarn in constant motion, afraid to slow down. Your wrist is starting to get tired. The cat doesn't seem to be losing any energy though. Yeah, I feel that. It's like... it's getting faster and faster. Your wrist finally cramps sharply, making you lose control of the yarn's motion as the tip of it brushes slightly against your stomach. Pain rips low across your torso. Into your torso. Blood pours out of your mouth. In that daze, you look down and see red blooming slowly along the bottom of your shirt, around the tears in the fabric. You watch as long, thick ropes of, something pour out from under your shirt into a bloody heap on the floor at your feet. A single red-streaked rope still hangs from you, connecting you to all that mess. Are those your... You crumple to the ground and topple over onto your side. your vision has gone blurry. But you can just make out the shape of something small and a deep inky black as it walks over and inspects your... Oh god damn it, before it starts to giddily roll around in a mass of your bloody insides next to you. Darkness falls over you. The cat sounds happy. Nonsensically, you wonder where the yarn has gone, but there's really no need to worry about it. The cat seems content with the next best thing. Ending 11 at the end of your rope. Badum-ts. What cat doesn't love playing with some yarn? Yeah. In the name of perfect balance, no. What do we have? You dig into your pockets. You find a small piece of string in your left pocket, and not very helpful. String is far too short. An eager and excited cat leaving for Cordis Hill. Yeah, let's not. In your right pocket is a bar of chocolate. I'm sorry. You find a chocolate bar? Is it? Nope, it's not even expired. Quite the find indeed. You're about to offer it to the cat. When suddenly you're hit with guilt as you remember something gut-curdling. Chocolate is toxic to cats. Oh my gosh, I'm so... You resist the urge to vomit at your near mistake. You feel so guilty, you throw the chocolate bar away into a nearby trash bin. An almost cat killer doesn't deserve chocolate. You'll go back to the cat, barely able to stand its innocently oblivious expression. It doesn't even know that you almost... I'm so sorry. I don't even know what to say. You're a horrible person. You know what? Stay right there. I'll be right back. You leave the alley. And return with a whole fish you bought at a nearby grocery shop. It was a bit pricey, but it was the least you could do. The cat eagerly accepts your offering, munching happily at the fish after you'd placed it in the box. You want to smile at the sight, but you just feel so... awful. Sorry again. The cat seemingly pays you no mind as you slip back out of the alley. I tossed stuff in and tempted him with the chocolate bar wrapper paper noise thing, but it was more trouble than it was worth anyway. Not feeling you deserve a peaceful day out, you decide to just head back home. On the way home, you notice more cats than usual, watching you from their hiding spots. But you try not to think about it. You can't help but wonder if they know what you've nearly done. But it's not like you meant to hurt anyone. Right? You finally reach your apartment building. You're about to unlock the door when... You look behind you, only to see dozens of cats standing there, looking at you. Did they see you feeding the cat in the alley and thought that you had more food for all of them? I'm sorry, I don't have any more food for you. None of them move an inch. You're starting to feel a little unnerved when finally a single cat pushes its way to the front and... Oh no, is somebody coming home from work to lunch? Oh well. Hopefully they won't make too much noise. Oh, it's you! I'm going to have to wait for that to pass. Okay, I think that's enough waiting. It won't be waiting for you all but because I paused the recording, but anyway. Oh. It's held carefully between its teeth is the chocolate bar you'd thrown away earlier. It places the chocolate bar down in front of it before looking back up at you. All the cats look up at you. You can feel their judgment. You feel your sins weighing down heavily on your back. But without the money to buy enough food for all of them, you don't know what to do. Bruh. No, thank you. I'm out. You decide to cut your losses and head inside. Your sins weigh down on you, but you're only human. What more can you do? Jeez. You try to ignore the yowling of the neighborhood cats as you go about your chores. You consider preparing dinner. But how could you enjoy it knowing how hungry those poor cats outside are? The ones you wronged? You decide to take a bath and go straight to bed without dinner. A fitting punishment for someone like you. You forgo the fancy bath bubbles because you don't deserve them and sink into the water with a sigh. Your mind races, but you can't really think of any immediate solution that doesn't require more money. You wish there was something, anything you could do to make things right. Suddenly, your legs start to feel really itchy. You try to lift one to see what's going on, but what right inside the water isn't a pair of legs. It's a fishtail? You feel dizzy at the sight. Maybe you're hallucinating from the stress? You try to climb to the top to cool your head, but instead of your hand rising up to brace itself, a wet fin stretches out to plop on the rim. It's too weak to hold your weight and you're so startled by the sight that you slip and smack your head on the side of the bathtub, passing out almost immediately. You're awake. You think, anyway. You open your eyes and... you're underwater? Oh, you must have stood beneath the surface of the bathwater, you gasp instinctively. Except, not really. A bubble simply floats out of your mouth. Up, up, up to the surface. You're broke as heck, so you know your bathtub isn't that big. Did you shrink? But how? And even if there were a reasonable answer, you wouldn't explain how you haven't drowned yet. You swim to the edge of the tub and see the truth in your shadow's silhouette. You've been turned into a fish? This is impossible! You don't get any time to ponder over this, unfortunately. Because just then, a shadow looms over you from above. You look up and see the cat? It peers down at you from beyond the water's surface. And then you realize this is the answer. This is how you're meant to atone. With a heavy heart, you swim up to the surface. The cat scoops you up, tossing you out of the tub and onto the bathroom tiles. As you flop around gasping for air or water, you realize the cat wasn't alone. Dozens of hungry eyes peer down at you. You can hear the yowling of what sounds like hundreds of cats outside your bathroom window. You send one last look to the cat before closing your eyes and accepting your fate. As the cats descend upon you, tearing at your flesh, you find yourself mourning the fact that you're not even big enough to feed all of them. Even in the end, you couldn't properly atone. Your efforts, your life, all of it amounted to nothing. Ending 25, Seafood Sacrifice. You kindly feed some poor, hungry cats a fish. How nice of you!
Yeah, sure, let's just call it that.
Let's just call it that. Bye-bye. Supposed to walk away from that? What kind of monster would you be if you could? You sigh a little and walk back to the cat. It looks almost hopeful, its tail swishing faster as it leans up a little more towards you, as if eager for your next move. No. You really can't afford to take the cat home with you. Well, you just can't trust this cat. It sounds ridiculous even in your head. Cats don't require trust to care for. They're incapable of betrayal or deception specifically because, like other animals, they only seek out the most basic essentials of living, procreation, and comfort. Malice isn't something that could ever be logically applied to them. Could ever logically be applied to them, sorry. Yeah. And yet, you feel it. That behind that gut-wrenchingly adorable face is something dangerous. And that something brought you here. It called you here. You're a curious person, but when you can shake the deep instinctual desire to get away from it, 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 get away from it. The cat's face looks blank. It's an expression you've seen on many cats before, but something about it feels sharper. Like it's aware of your thoughts and your intention to leave. And it's daring you to try. You slowly stand up. The cat tracks your movement with its eyes, not bothering to move its head. You don't say a word. You try not to even think. Get away from it, 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 get away from it! So you don't really succeed. You turn around and quickly leave the alley, feeling those sharp eyes on you the whole way. When you get a good distance away, you finally take in deep gulps of air. You feel better now. And there's still plenty of time left to enjoy your day off. As long as you forget everything that just happened. But what to do? I think uh-oh. Go to dog park. You decide to take a stroll in a park or something. The only one within your walking distance for today is the nearby dog park. You think it'll make you feel better. First you get to see a cute cat today, now you'll get to see a cute dog. Several of them, in fact. The park is bustling with owners and their canine companions. Playing frisbee, fetch, running, jumping, even napping. Such cuties. Dogs are disgusting, they shall just die! Ah. You decide to move on. The dogs are so adorable. You want to pet every single one you come across. But you know not all owners are cool with strangers just walking up and manhandling their pets. Not all dogs appreciate it either. So you stroll around the path, trying to exude a welcoming aura that will beckon one of these cute doggies to you. You don't have to wait very long. You stop as the smallest, cutest puppy you've ever seen scampers up to you, blocking your path. Puppy. Wait a minute. You pick up the puppy and... What the? How did you get back here? Get away from me, 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 get away from me! You leave the alley. Quickly. What now? I think I'll go watch a movie. We've already been through this too, in a different path, so in the same video that is. Go to old theater. Ah, shit. The cat's face looks, Get away from me, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me! You have leave the alley. Quickly! You spent the day at the carnival. Ferris wheel, roller coaster, pharaoh boat. Rides you've been on before. Oops, coin toss, balloon darts. Games you've played before. Funnel cake, popcorn, cotton candy. Food you've eaten before. All things you've enjoyed before. You're surrounded by groups of people all having fun together. Laughing, playing, eating, taking pictures, making memories. And then there's you. The sun hasn't started to set yet, still high in the sky, but it will soon. You start to wonder if maybe you should just go home for the day. When you stop in your tracks, you see something new. An attraction you've never seen before. A maze of funhouse fairs? It sounds kind of lame, honestly. There isn't even a line to get in. But then, what else is there to do? Backwards enter the maze, eh? You enter the maze. The cat's face looks... Get away from me, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me, get away from me. You leave the alley quickly. You don't know why, but you don't really feel great about the idea of being alone right now. You're deciding to wait for the movie you've been anticipating to be available on DVD or streaming. You join the long line outside the new cinema. By the time you've reached the ticket booth, you just want to get inside. So you pick a movie at random and take your ticket from the tired-looking teenager man in the booth. You head inside. Oh, hell no. The cat's face looks... It's... Let me get away from me, get away from me, get away from it.
Meow, 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 meow.
You leave the alley quickly. What now? I think I'll go home. Wait. Haven't you done this before? You feel sick. Looking around, you suddenly realize that, unlike earlier, there isn't a single person in sight. You're alone. You're completely alone. So why do you feel like you're being watched right now? You feel your heartbeat start to race. You need to get home. Now! You walk back home, the feeling of ice on your back getting worse with each step. By the time you're fumbling with the keys at your door, you're soaked through with sweat. Your skin prickles and itches. The heavy gaze you feel might as well be eyeballs physically pressing into your flesh. Blech. Sticky and unnatural. You finally get inside and... The weight of relief in the sight that escapes through your lips actually causes you to physically shudder. The horrible feeling from earlier immediately dissipates as if it were never there. In the wake of its departure, you're left shaken and cold in your sweat-soaked clothes. But you're too relieved to care. exhausted, you mentally pass on the very concept of eating and head straight for your bedroom. You open the door and then you pass out immediately. Not again, no! No! You back up in fear. Eyes turn on the cat, its horrifying grin. You need to escape. You need to get out. But if even home isn't safe anymore, where will you go? You glance around you and... You see that the walls all around you have become fleshy and lined with sharp teeth. The ground now a tongue riding under your feet. In horror, you realize that the alley's end is getting smaller and smaller, closing like a mouth. You try to run for the exit. Nowhere to hide, 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 nowhere to hide. But trying to run on the tongue slows your speed significantly as you stumble and trip. You watch helpless as the last sliver of light from the entrance tightens beyond the size you could never hope to squeeze through. As darkness falls over you, you feel the damp humidity of the mouth all around you. The walls of teeth, fangs, take their time closing in. Closer and closer and in 23, feedback loop. I think I'm thinking one more and then I'm done for today. You try to leave the alley, it doesn't work. You try to leave the alley, it doesn't work. You try to leave the alley, it doesn't. One more. This again. Hello? In the days leading up to my meeting with it, I'd been obsessed with a memory. Someone precious to me had found someone precious to them. My best friend. My only friend. I was happy for them, truly. But then I'd been happy for the others too. They promised it wouldn't happen to me again. That they knew how it felt to be told by someone you cared for. That they'd outgrown you and your friendship. That they'd never ever do such a thing to me. There's not a moment that passes now that I wish I'd risked the pain of their rejection. I just believed them. But I didn't. I pulled away before they could, trying to protect my fragile heart. But it only hurt all the more. Selfish as it was, I'd wanted them to fight harder to keep me around. When it appeared before me, it promised to be just that. A friend that would never ever let me go. A friend that would never ever leave me. And all I had to do was promise the same thing in return. Weather good today. That good thing. Maybe good luck too. Yes, lucky. Lucky, 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 lucky. Lucky, 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 lucky. Lucky, lucky, lucky. Eh? Or maybe it was... Fate? Oh. No.
Water burps.
Yeah, no. Nuh-uh. I think I'll go to the carnival. You spent the day at the carnival. Ferris wheel, roller coaster, pharaoh boat. Rides you've been on before. Hoops, coin toss, balloon darts. Games you've played before. Funnel cake, popcorn, cotton candy. Food you've eaten before. All things you've enjoyed before. You're surrounded by groups of people all having fun together. Laughing, playing, eating, taking pictures, making memories. And then there's you. The sun hasn't started to set yet, still high in the sky, but it will soon. You start to wonder if maybe you should just go home for the day. When you stop in your tracks, you see something new. An attraction you've never seen before. A maze of funhouse mirrors? It sounds kind of lame, honestly. There isn't even a line to get in. But then, what else is there to do? You enter the maze. A few rooms in, and you notice that the mirrors aren't all weird. Some just show you looking back at yourself. A little bored, a lot tired, and so very, very... Maybe this was a mistake. Why did you think going into a maze of mirrors was a good idea? Even if it was something new to experience?
I can't do this today.
You turn around to head back the way you came. Only to bump into a mirror. Ow, what the? Where's the exit? You try again only to find another mirror blocking your way. By the time you're all turned around, you realize that the way you came in is completely gone. Oh, okay, don't panic. I just have to keep going forward, right? You step through the only opening you can find and nearly trip over something on the ground. You bend down and pick it up. What's this doing here? In your hand rests a worn-looking flashlight. Curious, you flick it on. Huh. The light doesn't look very... Crap, the lights! Did the power go out or did the attraction operator forget you were in here? How long have you been in here, actually? You pull out your phone to check the time or maybe call the police. Your phone is dead. You grip the flashlight in your hand. The light emitted earlier was dim enough for you to know there's probably not that much juice left. Best to say for worst case scenario and feel your way out. Yeah, you can do this. You take a calming breath. Well, where will we go?
Hello, daring adventure!
Huh?
Who said that? Welcome to the Mirror Maze! Would you like to know how to navigate the maze?
Yes, I need help. What the?
Once again, welcome to the Mirror Maze. You're in a bit of a jam, but don't worry. You're in good hands. Or rather, good paws. See these little cuties here? They'll be doing their best to guide you through the maze. Aren't they generous? When you enter a room, the emergency light will flash, letting you see the paths before you for a second. And also what lies beyond them. Whenever you find these kind kitties, just go where they are and you'll reach the next room. Unfortunately, they're not the only things in here. It is highly suggested that you refrain from following any of our other guests. They can be sneaky or distracting, but they're always hostile. So please take caution when advancing to the next room. Of course, this wouldn't be much of a mirror maze without mirrors. Can they hurt you? No, they're just mirrors, silly. They don't do anything at all. And you can't do anything to them either. They're just an obstacle you can't pass through. Go left, go center, or go right. The choice is yours. Though, if you find a room with no helpful kitties inside, and all the paths lead to a mirror or something else, it's recommended that you stay put. And just maybe it will work itself out. Now for your navigation tools. Oh my goodness, this game show host voice. It's getting kind of tiring for me to do. I'm not a quitter. I'm not a quitter. The flashlight you found doesn't have much juice left. It'll only let you get a quick extra peek at your surroundings about 5 times. So try not to use it all up at once. You can keep track of your progress through the rooms up to the left, and your lives up to the right. You've got 3 lives, so be careful to avoid the less friendly guests lurking around. Why only 3 lives, you ask? Because you're soft and squishy. It wouldn't take much to damage you beyond repair. And besides, you're human, and humans usually only have the 1 life, yes? And yet here you get 3.
Don't you think you ought to show a little more gratitude?
And that's the end of your tutorial. Hopefully it was helpful. Are you ready to play? Your request to forfeit is denied. Let me out of here! Screaming is not allowed in the maze. Bruh. Okay then. I'm ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go!
Okay, I got this. Okay, next room. This room feels off. Just wait. I think something's changed.
exit! My goodness, that was easy. You run forward, but as you do, the scenery shifts. Just slightly at first. But you're running too fast to stop yourself from colliding into the glass. Uh-oh, ow, ow, ow. Except you don't quite go into the glass. You don't exactly collide with it either. You simply pass through it. This is fun. And on the other side, you see an endless white void and yourself? Dozens of you. Hundreds of you wandering around. Aimless. Faceless. And empty. So empty and listless. They don't even acknowledge your presence. You try to turn back. But the glass doesn't give. Past the glass. A familiar black cat walks up and looks at you. You think it meows at you, but you can't make out the sound. It tilts its head, then walks away. The glass goes dark. Then you watch helpless as it disappears completely. You're trapped. With only yourself as company. Ending 19. You beat the maze! Congratulations, you beat the maze. Yeah. This is definitely enough for today. Oh, my poor throat. But this is still fun. Next one will happen whenever I feel like it,